is trying to figure out a way forward. We just had Casey Hunt up there. For more, I'm joined by Republican Congressman from New Jersey, Leonard Lance, who just left that Republican conference meeting, and former RNC chair and MSNBC political analyst Michael Steele. Congressman, how's this thing stand? Is it in grave condition? Is that fair?
I think the votes are not necessarily there at the moment, and I'm a no vote because I do not think that it will lead to lower insurance costs for the American people. And I was concerned about the new CBO score that came out this evening, Chris. But I think that the Democratic Party should come to the table as well, because this is a bipartisan matter that needs a bipartisan fix.
Would the Republicans come to the help of an effort to save their program? And I don't know whether that's normal in the current situation. This bipartisan, I know, is my belief. I share that religion you just mentioned. But it doesn't seem to be in practice these days. One party saving another party from its own self-destruction doesn't seem to be the way things work anymore.
I think that we should put the national interest first, and I do think that the exchanges are in great difficulty, Chris. As you know, one-third of the counties in this country have only one insurer, and so I hope that we might work together, and this is true in the Senate as well, in a bipartisan capacity. Would the president be the one to broker that kind of a deal? He's a deal maker, he says. Certainly, I think that's a possibility, and I hope that Democrats here in the House, as well as Democrats in the Senate, will come to the table, because, in my opinion, the exchanges are in difficulty, and we need a better system for the entire nation. That sounds like a very prudent thing to offer, but I think right now what's going on is the Republican Party can't solve this problem despite their strong majority in the House. They can't solve the problem because I think individuals and collectively, like Congressman Lance, you know, really believe fundamentally, because their constituents, you're going to go to Washington and you're going to repeal Obamacare, soup to nuts. There's no dalliances, there's no straggling, there's no add-ons. What about those 60 votes they all cast to get rid of it? Well, no, and I think that's a fair point. And that really, I think, where the congressman and others would say, yeah, give us the bill that does exactly what we said we wanted it to do, and we will do that. We will have, the votes you need. Congressman Lance, did you vote to repeal Obamacare? I did. I was one of those. Well, then you wanted to get rid of it, and now you say you want to fix it. Which is it? I think that's a fair point, Chris. I voted. It's certainly fair. Well, what is the answer? Do you want to fix it or kill it? I want to fix it. And but why did you vote to kill it so many times? This was why did you vote 50 times to kill it? This was a negotiating strategy with President Obama to bring him to the table, and I certainly think it needs to be fixed, and I want to work in a bipartisan capacity to do so. But it couldn't be a negotiating tactic. I know that sounds right to someone who doesn't know the process, but the president didn't need to sign that bill. He could just veto it. He didn't have to go do it. I think that the president should have recognized that the exchanges are in difficulty. Thank you. Congressman, thank you for joining us. We're going to go to Mark Meadows of the Freedom Caucus right now. Thank you. Doesn't look like they got a deal. Here's Casey. We're going to get Casey Hunt here in a second. She just walked past there. We're going to get the camera focused on her. Michael, what do you think? Faster again. This is a hard nut. They don't have a deal. They don't have a deal. Yeah, Beto would be all over the camera. He knows how to bring the cameras around him. Yeah, there's no deal here because of the reality that you go in one direction, you pull conservatives, you go in another, you pull politics. Moderates. If he blows it on this, and it looks like he has, he's not going to get anything out of this. Soup to nuts, he's not getting the soup. No. What does it do to his chance of tax and all the stuff he says he's going to do later? This is why he should have led with tax reform. Because that is a foundational thing. That means tax cuts to the rich. Well, whatever it may mean. I know what it means. Whatever it may mean, Chris, it's not this. And you don't need to do Obamacare repeal first to put in place the tax reforms that you want, number one. Number two, that then foundationally lays out an argument and a runway, if you will, for jobs and all the other things that Donald Trump wants to talk about. You set that victory up. It's the same argument Rahm Emanuel made to the White House in 2009. Against Hillary. Against Hillary, Obamacare, right. Don't lead with health care. It's too much of a thicket to get into. Let's go to Casey. Casey, how's it look? Casey Hunt. Trump said they're going to have an upper. Hi, Chris. I apologize. We're just kind of getting the latest download here. We've had one member come out of this meeting and tell us that
believe that there will be an up or down vote on this bill tomorrow. We may see one additional major change tonight to the legislation. They may put that out this evening. We're keeping an eye out for that. But we're also told that Mick Mulvaney, the budget director, said that President Trump wants a vote tomorrow. He is done negotiating.
Okay, is this for range
and this is
or
where he
effect?
wants to go from here.
I'm using a military term. Is this for range or effect? Do they want to find out how many votes they need so they can work on those people over the weekend?
It sounds like at this point the president wants them to go forward with this. Obviously, the president isn't the Speaker of the House, so doesn't technically decide any of this. So he could be putting Paul Ryan, the Speaker, in a pretty difficult position if they do not, in fact, have the votes. But it sounds like Trump is sick of the back and forth, or the president, excuse me, is sick of the back and forth and wants this to move forward, Chris.
So you think tomorrow morning looks good right now?
It seems as though the pressure is certainly on for that. I mean, we'll look and see what kind of a policy change might be included in this. I think these conversations are going to continue, and I think what Speaker Ryan has to say is probably going to the most about this.
Okay, thank you very much. As always, Casey Hunt, right on the job there, NBC. Casey Hunt. And thank you, Congressman Leonard Lance. Congressman, one last thought. If you're still there, are you going to vote for this tomorrow if it comes up, or are you sticking with the position it's not the right bill?
I'm a no tomorrow, Chris.
Okay, thank you. It's great having